How's it going, guys? Topic for today's video, 5 ways to get more variety on a plant-based vegan diet. So I just asked in our Raw Tone Over Facebook group, if you have a burning question about succeeding on a plant-based vegan diet, what is it? One of the most common questions that I saw was how to get more variety on a vegan diet, because a lot of people are transitioning from a standard American diet. And typically when you're eating a standard American diet, you're consuming a lot of very processed foods. So it's usually very stimulating with all the processed sugar, with all the crazy amounts of salt and sodium that is laced in the food. So moving towards a more whole foods plant-based diet the food's not nearly as stimulating, and so it can seem really bland, and it just seems like you're just not getting enough variety. So these are 5 tips that I brainstormed with Hannah to help you get more variety in your diet, and just to make it so much more enjoyable, because if it kind of feels like you're eating the same foods every single day, that kind of sucks, right? So you want to make this as enjoyable as possible. So the first tip, and it's the most obvious one, but we're gonna add a little bit extra onto it, is to, obviously, you want to learn new recipes. Holy shit, that is so groundbreaking. But yeah, there are so many amazing resources across the internet with a plant-based vegan diet and getting like free recipes. There's so many cookbooks out there that will really help you with inspiration in the kitchen and making delicious meals that are much more satisfying. And once you find a lot of those meals that you really love to make, you can add those into your rotation, and that way you just don't feel like you're eating the same thing, and you're gonna be getting more variety. Something that I like to experiment with is taking one recipe and changing it and manipulating it with a different type of food. So for example, when we were living in Minnesota, Hannah made this awesome General Tso cauliflower chicken recipe. She breaded the cauliflower with water, flour, and breadcrumbs. And I love the result of doing the cauliflower chicken like that. Is I tried to do it with potato fries, and we actually did it on our vlog channel one day, and that actually turned out pretty good. But it's just like you're trying to use that initial recipe as inspiration to try something else out and to get more variety in your diet. So my second tip is to try out new cultures of food. So right now, Hannah is on like a Korean kick just because she's been watching Mummy Tang so much, and she's been learning how to make all these different Korean recipes. We've actually been shopping at a Korean store in order to get all the ingredients and stuff. So it's really nice to try out different cultures of food. Like my favorite culture is probably Mexican food. Indian food is another great culture of food that you can easily veganize. Most of it is typically vegan. There's usually oil in those recipes, so maybe you want to take out the oil. But Indian, Mexican, Korean, you can try like Ethiopian, Greek, Thai, African. So there's so many different cultures of food, and with each different culture of food, they're gonna be using different spices and different flavors in their food, and they're gonna be using different ingredients. So that'll really help with making you feel like there's more variety in your food. Even though it's all gonna be really healthy, it's just learning how to use all these different ingredients in order to make something that tastes just like really good. All right, so my third tip is to stop deeming all plant-based fats as being really bad. So I'm talking about like avocado, tahini, nuts and seeds. Instead of trying to say like super low fat, start including some of those plant-based fats into your diet. The food's gonna be a little bit more enjoyable. You'll be able to have a little bit more creativity and a little bit more variety in your meals. So don't be so limiting by excluding plant-based fats. So my fourth tip is to start watching more cook with me videos. So these are videos where people actually show you how to make the meal. Instead of just giving you a recipe, they're gonna show you step by step how everything is done. What's really nice about those is not only do you get that visual experience of learning how to make the food, but you get to understand how it's actually being made. What's really important with that is when you really start to understand the basics of cooking and putting together recipes, is that you can start to do this on your own, and you don't always have to rely on recipes, because typically with Cook With Me videos, the person's gonna be explaining how the ingredients work together, how the flavors and all the different foods work together. So with that basic understanding, you can just be much more creative and get more variety into your life. So my fifth and final tip is to start going to your local farmer's market, start checking out Korean grocery stores or Asian grocery stores. Go to places where they don't have all the exact same foods that you normally get at your regular grocery store. That way you're gonna be exposed to different foods and ingredients, and you can start thinking, oh, maybe that would be really good in this meal, or that would be really good in this one. So you can start getting a lot more creative with the meals that you're preparing for yourself, and getting exposure to all these different foods is great for having a well-balanced, plant-based vegan diet. So those are my 5 best tips. If you have any tips that have worked for yourself for increasing the amount of variety in your diet on a plant-based vegan diet, then definitely leave it down in the comment box below. If you want an instant jumpstart on some awesome recipes, Hannah and I have 4 awesome plant-based vegan recipes, so I'll leave the links to those down in the description box below. Awesome, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon. Peace out.